Greetings, chess fans. As you can see, I have safely made it home. It was a very long day yesterday when I was en route from this small village of Bajina Bašta in Serbia, next to the border of Bosnia and Herzegovina. We had to take a 4-hour drive with a car. Then we were staying overnight in Kach. And that was going on Sunday. Then on Monday, I was traveling quite early to the Belgrade airport. I had a very long overlay there, like 4 or 5 hours connecting flight via Frankfurt, another waiting time, etc. So I arrived at home at 1 a.m., midnight. So that was very, very tough. Anyway, the tournament is over. I'm very happy about it, right? So this was obviously a huge part of my preparation for the FIDE World Cup, where I'm going to play for the very first time in my career. Those of you who missed, earlier this May, not only I won my 5th Latvian championship title, but also we fought out the only spot that we could get in the upcoming FIDE World Cup. I won it. It was a thriller. You can revisit some videos to check it out. And I've been prepping some new stuff for the tournament, obviously, and I needed a practice. And I think I'm going to make a separate video about Serbian League, like something like, I don't know yet the format, something like top 10 moments, like things I learned, things worked, things did not work. What about the openings? What about time management? By the way, I got a word from some followers that it would be great to make a bootcamp about time management. It's a great idea. I will definitely look into that. But yeah, so we have this game, round number 11. And to summarize what was going on in the first 10 rounds, I was playing really well. Like I had about 8 Grandmasters, 3 International Masters, and 2 of them are young Turkish kids, age 14 and 17. All the other GMs have been, or either are at the moment at 2600 elo. Some of them have been 2700 elo. Guys like Cheparinov, like Pretke, he was very close to 27. Ferenc Berkes. And yeah, it was like really grueling schedule. 11 games in 11 rounds. I had no rest day. I never asked for a rest day. I just wanted to play. So, but I made 10 draws in a row. And obviously, in the final round, when I was given the white color against the low-rated opponent of the guys who I played against, he's only 24-30, still a very strong international master, Raja Panjwani from Canada. Of course, I want to win. Anyway, let's go straight into the game and see what happened. I decided to make a change for the openings. I played e4. This is also the game where I prepped the least because it was played at 10 a.m. in the morning. I even recorded the previous recap at 7:30 a.m. I packed bags, I had breakfast, and I felt like a total hot garbage. I gotta confess it, I felt so bad. I don't know why. Like it's not that I had to wake up so early. I just had poor sleep. And it was fatigue and everything. And I did not really realize it until I sat down and I started playing the moves. And I realized, oh, wow, I feel so bad. Like 3 out of 10, something like that. So my goal was just to get simple chess, not blunder anything until 12. For the next 2 hours, I have to try to play something simple. See how it went. So I played Italian opening. I thought, okay, great. Like I didn't check anything. Basically, he plays here. I think I was expecting some Sicilian. Fine, whatever. So knight f6, d3. He played h6. I mean, this particular setup doesn't tell me yet anything. Like maybe he's afraid of bishop g5 pins and he just wants to castle short after the move h6, which is a bit cautious move. I played c3. Hinting at d4. All of these ideas, I discussed in the Italian game bootcamp, which I think it's not yet getting enough views because I thought the content was pretty good. So in case you missed it, go check it out. I'm going to include the link at the end of the video. So he played d6, knight e2, a6, like the old line. a6, the big idea is to retreat with the bishop on a7, like if I trotted once at the queen side. a4 also is necessary because my opponent already might be threatening to play knight a5 and trap the bishop. And that's one of the things that players who play the Italian game and Lopez, they'll learn the very first thing. Do not allow to trade the bishop for the black knight at all costs. Really simple. Yeah, so I play a4. This bishop is pretty important. Don't ask me why. It's a very long answer. Bishop a7, rook e1. Like, I thought maybe I can play h3 here and then play rook e1 and knight f1, but then again he plays g5 probably. Like that's a target. He can play g4, rook g8, and the first game I'm thinking about is Aronian against Kramnik, some famous FIDE candidates game back in 2016, whatever. So I play rook e1. I just want to get the quiet game. The guy sits there for a moment and I'm thinking, no, don't. Just don't do it. No, he played g5. I feel bad. You know, I just can't. I can't focus on the game right now. You know, I'm just trying to get the quiet game and you're forcing me immediately to go for a huge fight at 10 a.m. on Sunday. I feel bad and this is not happening. Yeah. Needless to say, it's a very aggressive move. And by the way, one thing about Panjwani, you should know that even though he was struggling in the tournament, I think he made like 4 draws out of 10 games and lost every other game. But I mean, the opposition was incredibly strong. Like average rating is 2570 on the top board. So he's rated 2430. But what I really like how he's playing. He was playing principal chess throughout the event. And I thought, okay, whatever. Listen, I don't remember any theory here. I'm pretty sure it was something like b4 here. And if he plays g4, the knight goes on h4. Black can take on e4. As you can see, there's some tricks. But somehow this works for white because the black king is exposed and blah, 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 blah. You know, but I don't remember none of this, especially at 10 a.m. on Sunday. So I'm thinking, okay, listen, let me just play a game, okay? I'm going to play knight f1. I'm going to play knight e2. I'm going to rearrange the pieces. And I just remind myself, what do you think my opponent is going to checkmate me with 2 pawns? Like, I try to make a poker face, like everything is cool, I'm drinking coffee, etc. But this is how I feel right now about the game. And black has some interesting ideas here already, like g3 could be a move. With the idea to play knight g4 and queen h4. So it's all like, I mean, I have no risk here. I have a lot of risk. For example, like h takes, he could play knight g4. And if I play knight e3, boom, 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 and what is this, and queen h5, and etc. But I didn't really go into this so deeply because I thought, listen, I'm going to figure it out, right? So let's say h takes, knight g4. I thought, you know, in the worst case, like if I fail, find anything, there's got to be some d4. E takes on d4, and while he's threatening to do some stuff, pretty sure I'm going to figure something out, right? And it's not like I have made some pretty big mistake. Like, I was definitely out of the book. I didn't remember anything, but I thought, like, I have not made any criminal move, so I should be okay. He played h5. I think he was already out of the book, just like me. I played knight b3. And I thought g3 here was very interesting, with a point that knight x on g3 is h4 or knight g4, make a pick. Both of them look pretty great. And h takes on g3, he could maybe play h4 here. I could play bishop g5 and whatever is this position. Knight g4, bishop e3, takes, and okay, we have something like this. But I think it's also for black not so clear because where exactly is this attack leading him? And he needs to, I mean, for him to attack successfully, he needs to bring the king to the queen side, right? So the king is still in the center, and I have my own cheapo threats like queen f7. So I was like feeling that there's not going to be a mate. He played h4, I played bishop e3, and I thought, okay, that's one bit of good news. I'm not going to get checkmated in 10 moves. So I'll survive. And I thought if he's going to play like g3, like, okay, I'm going to take with f-pawn. play h3. I don't think the sacrifice on h3 works because, again, with the king on e8, it's not going to work. But this is, by the way, what Engine says that he should have done, like knight h5, which is pretty logical. He wants to play knight f4. Like, that's applying a lot of pressure here. I would take it. He has to take with the knight to keep an opportunity to castle the long side. And this position, like, is this even good for black? I mean, Engine says it's good, but I gotta tell you, I can perfectly understand how he felt during the game, because if he misplays this, he's just worse. I mean, the king is in the center, and he's like 3 moves away from castling. And even then, the attack is not guaranteed to succeed, because I also have counterattack against the pawn on f7. I mean, obviously, Stockfish doesn't care, right? But I think for a human, this is, from black's perspective, a very difficult choice to make. So he played knight h5, which I thought is a mistake, to be honest. I thought it's a mistake. So I took on a7. I was happy to eliminate the bishop. I thought he has to take with the knight, but if he takes with the knight, he needs to watch out for some d4 stuff, and I'm opening up the center. So he took with the rook, which I thought is a bit strange, because did he not want to castle alongside? Maybe he does not want to castle at all. And I play g3. So, this position, when I play g3, I convince myself I'm better. How come? Right, I have not made any terrific mistakes. His knight on h5 is excluded from the game. H takes, I can play f takes if I want, open up the file. His king is stuck, it's going nowhere to the long side. The rook at a7 needs at least one tempi to retreat. And even if he gets the knight on g5 somehow, knight f7, knight h7, knight g5, I mean, it just takes me one move to defend, some counterattacks with knight f5. I thought I'm going to figure it out. I was like totally sure I'm better. After the game, I checked Engine. Engine says, I'm worse. Like, I showed this to my teammate, Yevgeny Poshny, and said, how do you think who is doing better here? He said, of course, white. No, black. It's very interesting. You know, I'm going to make some kind of a survey among professionals. I'm going to ask them an opinion about this position. How do you value this? Stockfish says solidly, like 0.5, black is better. All right. That's basically the topic I discussed in the round 10 game. You play queen g5. I play d4. Like, I have to do something active. King f8, which I think is a waste of time. So what I would suggest to anybody is, when you don't know what to do, you know the drill, you can always improve your pieces. So the knight on h5 doesn't do anything. You have to start with knight f6. The king on e8 stands pretty okay. And then black is trying to do something at the h file. But, you know, I was still feeling pretty okay. Queen c1 or queen d2. It's not like I will get checkmated there. There's a d5 threat. And if he plays like this, I'm going to go here and here. Really? Am I going to get checkmated there with knight g5? There's no mate, right? Knight h3 check is just one check. So that's what I thought. And probably he thought the same. So he played king f8. Just to walk away from the center, which I think it's a bit odd choice over knight f6. I play queen d2. Mainly as expected, he's going to reject the queen trade. And then I immediately rejected, why didn't I try to play queen c1? Which was a bit smarter, because if he now takes it, I keep my knight on f1, which is heading to the e3, f5, or d5. And yeah, he suddenly took it. He took on d2. I cannot take with a b knight, because the pawn on d4 is dropping. And he played a5. A bit strange move, but I suppose he wanted to solidify the queen side. Bishop f1 was a good move, threatening knight c4, d5, get to the pawn. b6, I play knight c4 anyway, so the knight is heading to the e3 square. Knight f6, knight a3. So already here, I was playing with the feeling that I'm better, I'm pushing. He's like, pawn on g4 is going to be weakness in the long run, and the rook on a7 is weird. Stockfish says, you don't understand anything, human being. And here my opponent made a pretty big concession. He played h6 and g3. I think he should have played knight h7 to keep the tension, threatened to play knight g5. But maybe he was not sure what happens after g takes and h4, and does he have to go back? Knight f6, waste time. And for what? I don't think I would take on h4. But he decided to clarify things. And this is, by the way, also a pretty instructive moment. when I don't take with a pawn directed towards the center, I took with the f-pawn. And the idea was that after h takes knight h7, I felt it's going to be more difficult for me to secure the king. Like, let's say bishop g2, knight g5. He wants to play some knight f3 ideas at some point. King f1 is at least rook h2. So he's not allowing me to rearrange the pieces. Like, he doesn't allow me to play king e2, rook h1. And I thought that f takes on g3 makes more sense, because the pawn on h2 is easily defended. My king is now more free to move. And at any scenario when he plays knight g5, knight f3, it's never going to be a mate cage, right? So also I could use the semi-open file for some counterplay. So that's why I thought this was a pretty nice idea. He played knight h7. Anyway, I put the knight on b5, rook b7. Now the rook is weird. And I was honestly looking for ways to capitalize on my advantage. So I play knight e2. And I thought he has to play like knight g5, instantly again start with easy moves. Bishop g2, and now play knight a7, get rid of my best pieces. And the position is about level. But he started with knight a7 immediately. And this gave me the feeling that there's something not right about black's position, because like he has not yet put the knight on g5, it's still on h7. Now the other knight is on a7, so it leaves a rather weird impression that black is not like having a good coordination of his army. So I rejected the trade. I thought the knight on a7 is pretty ridiculous to trade. And also bishop a6 becomes a threat. To trade off my bad bishop for his supposedly good bishop. But most importantly, I would weaken his control of the g4 pawn and control of the f5 square. So he went here. I play bishop a6. I mean, again, Stockfish says some nonsense like this, and leave the bishop on b5 stranded, and Stockfish says, yeah, this is really great. Play like this, but again, black plays like f6, king g7, he's completely fine. I just did not understand what to do with the bishop, so I traded it. Here, Stockfish here again gives some silly lines, like takes it, sacrifice the exchange. I saw the line, and this is where I stopped it. D takes, B takes, I thought that's it, exchange for a pawn. Okay, he has some counterplay, but I mean, come on. Like, his pawn on c7 is a weakness. But again, Stockfish just says knight g5, knight e5, down a full exchange, but knight f3 gives black just good enough chances. More, maybe equality, maybe even more than that. Okay. So my opponent is still, like me, plays normal moves. I play d5 because I recognized some positions from the kings in the defense. Knight c4, and I'm about to normalize the position. So I'm already taking over the game. So if he plays the normal move king g7, I'm going to play knight e3. Let's say he plays like rook f8, I'm going to go here. Oh, sorry, I think I'm blundering the pawn. Sorry. Knight e3, yeah, the pawn on g4 is under attack. So let's say knight f6, rook f1. He plays like rook h6, rook f2, here, rook h1. I have a very big pressure here. Like, knight f5 might be a threat at some point and recapture the rook. But I can also expand on the queen side, like b4. There's a pressure. Knight f5 is a constant threat. And opponent g4 is a weakness. I was very happy about this. And he sensed that indeed this is a dangerous moment for him. So he played f5. I cannot take the pawn on f5 because he recaptures my central pawn. And he is just better. So I play rook f1. I was expecting king g7, knight e3, and he basically has to take it, and again, I'm just dominating the board. Like, even if I don't win the pawn on g4, my knights are so much better than his. So, of course, he didn't do that. He played knight g5. I cannot still take the pawn on f5 because the pawn on d5 is under attack. He played f4, really great defense. So the point is, if I take it, there's knight h3 check. He recaptures on f4 with the knight. Obviously, I don't want to do that. I took the pawn. Engine here entertains us once again with some ridiculous nonsense ideas like h4. And then changes its mind. It's like, whatever. Don't even ask me to explain that. So I took on g4, knight h3 check. Here, king f7. So here, Panjwani was leading very good defense. Like, really good. He was looking for the counterplay with rook g8. I traded off his annoying knight. Takes, rook g8, and here. So I felt like I have made a major progress. I give an extra pawn. He definitely has some counterplay, but there's zero risk for me. And how to continue? So obviously I have a pin. I should get rid of it. And I kind of immediately play king f3, which turns out to be a pretty stupid move. Like, the idea was correct, but the execution was wrong. So what I realized is that I need to deal with a pin, but I also need to complete my development. So the correct idea was rook g1. If he walks away from the pin, so do I. I want to take the pawn. If he plays knight g6, now that's the position I saw. Then I can play king e2, ignore what's going on at the king side, even march with the king to b5, play b4 if I want. And if my king side is suddenly burning and something is going on, I can just play knight f1 and protect everything. And his knight in g6 is stupid. It's not doing anything at all. So I had an idea, the same idea, but I thought it's going to happen here. Like king f3, he's going to play knight g6. We're going to go for the same idea, like knight g6, king e2, rook h3, knight f1. That's what I wanted. But there's a difference. So he plays rook h3 and king e8, which is an incredibly good move. And now I realize that g takes f4 is not even an idea because he just plays knight g6. I take it, or f5, doesn't really matter. Knight e5, there's knight e3. He's so active here. I could easily get worse, like knight e3, knight e2, this pawn drops, this pawn drops. I don't think I can do that. And then basically I have to commit to knight f1. Because also very unfortunately for me, I have no time for this pin. Because he plays rook h2, takes, and his rook on g8 is protected. So he never plays knight g6. That's the difference. I mean, I was a bit in a, like, not a big time scramble, but like 6 minutes, so I didn't figure it out. So I play knight f1, he never played knight g6. So now he rearranges the knight for a better square. I play rook d1 and knight g8. Completely different story. And now I have to make move 40. I already realized that I have misplayed some things. I decide to play g takes d4. Like, I know it's a very difficult move, but I thought that rook d3 is just not enough because he's gonna go. What is he planning here? I don't remember. Like this, I think. And I have problems with the pawn on e4. So I took it. I thought he's gonna take with the pawn. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. So I wanted to apply some pressure. Obviously, he is rerouting the knight on e5. I was aware of this, but I calculated very quickly, but he is not gonna make it because of knight e3 and knight f5. So he gets the knight on e5, but it's gonna cost him the pawn, and I'm just much better. So that's the position I saw. But the point is he takes with the rook. And now none of this is irrelevant anymore, because I have to take it, and now he is threatening either knight e7, knight g6, knight e5, or even more stronger knight f6, knight g4, knight e5. So I play king f2, king g2, draw away the rook. I was mainly expecting rook h5 for some reason, but I think rook h4 is still very human. Yeah, now what? Because if I play knight e2, he plays knight g4, that's a fork. I go here, I go here. It feels like I have accomplished something, but no, there's a check. King f2, I'm walking into a fork. I cannot do that. So I have to go here. I trade the knights, but what is my king doing on h3? Like, I could even lose this, actually. My h pawn is going nowhere. I'm up a pawn, but I could easily lose this endgame. I mean, engine says it's equal, but no, I don't want to play this. So I played h3. I played knight h2. Actually, yeah, I did not understand even why didn't I play knight e2, the more human move. Somehow I was so focused on knight h2, I forgot about knight e2. Doesn't really matter. I play knight f3. Knight f3, I mean, I think he has to take it. Like, if he doesn't take, like takes, and something like king h2, followed by rook g1, I'm still up a pawn after all. Maybe not winning, but I think I'm the one who is pressing. So he took it. And he took an h3 very quickly. And I think this is where he made a small mistake. Like, obviously, the position is leading to a drawish endgame. But maybe it made sense for him to spend a bit some time. like consider playing king e7, leaving the tension, because it's not like I'm having any chance to make a progress here anyway, right? And there's a difference. Let's say if I go here and I go here and take it, he immediately wins back the pawn. That's the difference what compared to the game. So I would have to like find some very creative ways to keep the game going, like this and this, some Zugzwang. Yeah, some Zugzwang out of the blue. And b3, and he couldn't move the rook. There's going to be h4, h5, etc. So he walks back, and I'm Zugzwanging him like this. And he goes here and here, and we probably still get to the same position. He has to take on h3. But I think it was worth a shot for him. Okay, maybe it doesn't really matter. He took on h3, and I think he was very convinced this is going to finish in a draw very quickly, because he's seemingly winning the pawn back. But no, he's not. So I play rook b1. Now, we have this position. I'm definitely sure it should be a draw. But it's still a lot of pawns, 5 versus 4. Although at the same flank, he has fixed the pawns, so he doesn't have a lot of flexibility. And I decided I'm going to play it out on until the very end. I just don't care. Like, my entire team already had finished the match by now, and they were waiting for me. So I thought, that's a lot of pressure, but I want to score my very first victory. You know? Like, we are winning the match and everything, so I could agree to a draw and then just have this 4-hour drive to the city where we're staying overnight. No, I decided to play on. So I rearranged the pieces. There you go. Small progress, activate the rook. Small progress, rook g7. So the big idea here is I'm kind of threatening with ideas like this. Could be a problem in some lines. I'm not really sure if it's a problem, so I try to scare him. He plays king c8. So I put the king on d4, give a check here. I activate the pieces the best I can. Okay. Now, by the way, the question is why he didn't play king d7. I think he was a bit concerned about ideas like rook a8, b4, and a5. It still should be a draw. But now his king is kind of disconnected. Yeah, and I can play like a6 and do what then? I don't know. But it's still a draw, obviously. And if he plays like c6, there's rook a7, etc., right? So I try to play on his fears. He played king b7. It's still very good. I tried to find some resources. I could have put the king on b5. Like, I would love to do this, 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 and this. It never works. Never works. So I was shuffling the pieces. I decided to play b4, king b5, king b7. This position leads nowhere. Like, he just keeps harassing my a5 pawn. I cannot do that. So I shuffled the pieces here and there. I went back. I decided, okay, gotta make some progress, so it's gotta be e5, so that I can try to play rook e7 and d6 in one go. Here, and here, and here, and here, and here. And now I was like toying with the ideas. Maybe there are gonna be moments when in some lines I could play this. It's actually pretty tricky. Like rook a4, king b3, rook a8, d6. It looks a bit risky for black. So let's say after rook e7, he goes here. I wanted to play like d6. d6 here and king b3. And now his king is kind of disconnected. Come on, guys. Like, it's still an obvious draw. But if I get the king here, maybe there's some ideas. So he decided not to even allow that. And I was, moving the pieces here and there, here, there, here, there. And I'm thinking what else I can do. Like, again, there's this moment he can play rook a2. So I was thinking d6, c takes, and king c4. Now, this is one of my hopes I was trying to get. Yeah, so let's say he takes it. I play king b5. Here, I give a check, and here. You know, there's some positions when I can play this for the win, but not with the d6 pawn, obviously. Without the d6 pawn, this is winning. But with the d6 pawn, I think it's just a draw. So that's what I wanted to get. And again, he stopped me. He's not going for the pawn in a4. Now I play, again, I bring the idea of d6 and b5 on there. nothing works, so he's leading good defense. King c4. But also what you have to understand. Now, this is the game 11 of a very long and difficult tournament. And he's been suffering the entire tournament. I mean, everybody wants to outplay him. Now me. And this game continues for more than 5 hours. And the energy definitely and the stamina is taking its toll. So people are getting worn out. What I was trying to do, just keep the game going forever, forever, forever. Keep asking the questions. Can you find it? The correct defense. And in the beginning, he was playing very quickly. But the more moves we were playing on, his decision speed was slowing down. Like, it was not like completely sure what's the best way to continue. And about here, he already had like 5 minutes left on the clock, with obviously 30 seconds increment. I finally tried this idea. Rearrange the pieces, put the pawn on b5. I thought, okay, king d7, I'm like totally out of ideas what to do here. I thought maybe I'm going to try d6 and rook c4. What else, right? So d5, rook c6, and come on, like, again, it's a dead draw. But I got to play with something. So he went here, allow me to play d6, which obviously is still a draw. Now my only hope is try to get a position where I can play king e5, king d6, trade the rooks, somehow disconnect the king, and make a progress. It's obviously an easy draw. I'll play rook e5. All right. Let's do it. Final shot. King d5. King d5. So I'm hoping if he doesn't take the pawn, I can... if he plays like this, I could maybe go here, threaten the idea to trade the rooks, etc. Even though in some lines he can actually go for the pawn in game because his king is marching much faster to my pawns. And he took it. And I thought, okay, that's a draw then. 11 draws. What can I do? All right, let me give a check. Rook e7 check. Only move, one move, but it's a good one. King b8, king c6. And the best way to finish the game with a draw immediately here, and of course I see this, is you just give a check here and go for a passive defense. Because if you have studied pawn endgames, I mean, you know that with the knight's pawn, there's just no way for you to make a progress. Like, check, check, there's no c7. With a c pawn, this would be winning, but with the b pawn, it's a draw. And I would be immediately offering a draw. He played rook h4, which I thought, okay, why do you do that? Doesn't really change anything. So I played some random rook d7. I was thinking if he's gonna give me a check, I'm gonna go here. Maybe he goes crazy and he goes for the pawn endgame, which is winning for me. This I know with a black pawn and the 6th rank, these endgames are always winning. But of course, I mean, he can just give a check and still go for the passive defense. So he played rook h8, move 100. Like, I'm running out of ideas. I just give one more spite check. And of course, I expect he's going to play king a8. Nothing's going to change. Like, rook d7, whatever. Just do nothing, yeah? Take on b6, king b6, rook a6. Come on, there's no even need for this defense, b6 and rook g1. You just keep the rook on the final rank, and white couldn't make any progress. So I gave a check, and he immediately responds king c8. I'm like, wait, what? And it's not like I immediately understood what's going on, but wait, are you sure you can do that? And the more I start to check the lines, I'm like, wait, I'm winning. I know this endgame. Like, now the king is cut off to the long side, and the idea is king a7, rook b8, b6, and I'm eventually going to build a bridge. I just can't believe it. Like, he just played with a hand, the losing move. And I think he realized this like in the first 30 seconds or so what he has done. There's no defense. Can you believe this? Like, if he goes here, I'm going here. Let's say he goes back. I'm playing king a7, b6, b7, obviously. So if he, let's say, does this, check. This is a very important technique. Guys, you have to know this. I call this the triangle. There you go. So I'm going to play, he can't do nothing. I'm going to go here, b6, king b7, walk around with the rook and build a bridge. Let's say here, king a7, here, b6, king c6, rook c8. It's a bridge. I'm building a bridge. Like, if you know this position, there's nothing you can do. Black is completely toast. And of course I knew this. And there's no defense. Yeah, so he played rook g8. I went here, threatening rook b8. Check here. That's it. I just could not believe it. Like, everybody has finished in a playing call and left. Like, they're packing things. We are still the ones playing, and I'm going to win this. And yeah, so he decided to find a final chance to stop me building the bridge. I take over the A file. And he resigns. I was like, after the game, I said, I'm so sorry. I said to him, yeah, like, I'm so sorry. Like I totally didn't expect it. This was undeserved. Like, he said, yeah, it's my own fault, right? So I could feel for him because he was leading a very good defense. But it was the mistake at the 6th hour on move 100. So the lesson here is that I do believe that every player has a breaking point at some point. So some players break easily. Some players break after move 40. Some players after 60 moves. Well, here, it took me 100 moves to extract this one mistake, one slip, and it's enough. I mean, chess can be cruel sometimes, right? And obviously, my teammates, they're waiting for me for 2 hours. They went for the lunch and went back. And I thought if I would not have won the game, they would be so mad at me that I would have to walk to the airport. But I won. And the teammates were like very happy, like they couldn't believe what I just did. So I scored my first victory in 11 rounds. I mean, 1 victory and 10 draws, 6 points out of 11 in a very, very strong field. Obviously, I was very happy that I managed to finish the tournament on a positive note. My team won also, by the way, with a crushing score, 5.5 against half a point. We were still relegated, but we finished the tournament on a positive note, 2 victories, match victories in a row. And it felt good. It felt good. So that's it. I think, yeah, like I already said at the very beginning, I'm going to make another video like maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow about like my overall feelings about the Serbian league, the good, the bad, and what I noticed, what is missing in my play and what needs to be worked on. And maybe this is also something you can use yourself. But it was a very useful experience, absolutely. So I feel really buffed right now. I'm definitely tired, worn out a bit, but that's exactly what I needed for the FIDE World Cup. I'm still undefeated, by the way. And in the FIDE World Cup, all you need to do is be undefeated. And as I joked on Twitter, you can win the FIDE World Cup by making 72 draws in a row, assuming you get black in every single Armageddon game. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm going to finish the recap right here. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again, guys and girls, for all of your support. Really, really, it was very special to me. I will keep working on my YouTube. There's more videos. Like this week, I think I'm going to focus a lot on working extra lessons with my Coach Champ students. I try to work with them in Serbia. Now I'm going to do it even more. The Coach Champs tournament starts next week. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I want to win the thing. It's very important to me. And then, of course, I have to prep for the FIDE World Cup. I still have to do a lot of things. I have to start to write my next Chessable course. There's so many things to do. I think I'm also going to be doing some chess.com commentary for chess kids versus Star versus Kids or something like that. There's an event going on next week. You're going to see that. All right. Thank you for watching. Please press like, subscribe to the channel if you like my content, and it's going to allow me to grow as a content creator. And leave a comment. What do you think? What do you think about such a long grind? Was it worth it? What do you think it felt to be my teammates? My poor opponent, of course, but that's sport, unfortunately. And see you in new videos. Take care.